Welcome to the newest incarnation of Loopzine TV. The original interactive multimedia webzine was started in 1998 and posted on the internet in Macromedia Flash. You'll find 200 articles, archived on YouTube as videos. But today, the content has changed from darkwave music to academic papers about electronic music. Several different AI tools from Gemini and Grok are used in the creation of this video.
You know, have you ever been to an electronic music show? The sound is just massive. It's incredible. But you look up at the stage and you kind of wonder, what are they actually doing up there? Why does it sometimes feel like there's this invisible wall between the performer and the sounds they're making? Well, today, we're going to look at how a new way of innovators is absolutely demolishing that wall by putting the human body right back in the center of it all. And it all really starts with a simple comparison. On the one hand, you've got the traditional musician. I mean, the physical effort is right there for you to see, right? The sawing of a bow on a cello, the powerful strike of a drumstick. The action and the sound are totally visibly connected. But then on the other side, you have the electronic performer. Their actions are often super small, subtle, and a lot of the time they're just hidden behind a laptop screen. And that huge sound we're hearing, it can feel completely disconnected from the quiet little click of a mouse. So what's really going on here? Where does this feeling come from? Well, it all boils down to what we can call the great digital disconnect, this huge gap that opened up between what an artist does and the sound that comes out. To really get this, you have to look back a bit. For pretty much all of human history, making music was a full-body experience. This quote just nails it. When electronic music came along, it was a massive break from that tradition. It kind of pushed the human body off to the sidelines. And let's be super clear about this. The problem has never been the music itself. Electronic music is amazing. The issue was the interface. The mouse, the keyboard, the laptop screen. I mean, think about it. These are tools we designed for office work, not for expressive, dynamic performance. They're the things that broke that ancient, intuitive link between making a physical move and getting a sonic result. Okay, but this is where it gets really, really exciting. A bunch of brilliant innovators are building a whole new way to solve this problem. And it all comes down to 3 key ideas for reconnecting the body and the sound: gesture, feedback, and physicality. First up, let's talk about gesture. And hey, this isn't just about any random movement, okay? We're talking about specific, meaningful physical actions. You know, think about the way a guitarist bends a string to make it cry, or the way a pianist strikes a key with force or with softness. The whole idea is to create electronic instruments that can actually respond to these kinds of rich, expressive human gestures. Next, we've got feedback. See, when a violinist draws their bow across the strings, they don't just hear the note, they feel the vibration in their fingers, in their chin, through their whole body. That immediate sensory response is absolutely crucial. For an electronic instrument to feel real and connected, the performer needs that instant feedback loop, something that tells them exactly how their gesture is shaping the sound in that very moment. And, well, when you bring those 2 concepts together, you get to the final piece of the puzzle: physicality. This is where it all clicks. It's about designing entire systems where the body isn't just a thing pushing buttons, but becomes an essential, active, integrated part of creating the music itself. All right, so that's the theory. But what does this stuff actually look like out in the real world? This is the fun part. Now we get to look at the incredible solutions that are making this happen, instruments that you don't just play, but that you literally wear and dance with. And this brings up a really fascinating question, right? How can the human body itself become a musical instrument? Let's check out some of the wild answers that artists and engineers are coming up with. Okay, so first, meet the body harp. This is not an instrument you hold in your hands. It's something you actually wear. The entire design philosophy behind it is to treat it less like a separate object and more like a true augmentation of the performer's own body. The absolute genius of the body harp is how it gives you the best of both worlds. The performer can use these huge, sweeping, dance-like movements to shape the sound in a big way, but they still have the kind of fine, detailed control you'd get from a traditional hand-based instrument. The whole point is to completely blur that line between dancing and playing music until they're one and the same. Now for a totally different approach, one that's built on a concept called sonification. So put simply, sonification is just the process of turning data into sound. In this case, that data comes from sensors that capture human motion, and then software translates that movement data directly into music, all in real time. You are literally hearing your own gestures as they happen. This whole process is at the heart of something called digital dance and music instruments, or DDMI, and it's actually a pretty brilliant and simple four-step loop. First, a dancer makes a gesture. Second, tiny wearable sensors capture the precise data of that movement. Third, software takes that data and maps it to a specific musical parameter, say pitch or volume or a filter. And finally, bam, music is generated literally directly from the dance. But the goal here is way bigger than just one cool performance or one new instrument. The idea is to create a lingua franca, a common language. For maybe the first time ever, dancers and electronic musicians can speak the same artistic language, where a physical gesture has a direct, agreed-upon sonic meaning. It's like building a bridge between two completely different creative worlds. Okay, so we've seen some seriously cool tech, but why does any of this truly matter in the long run? In this last part, let's just talk about the future of performance and what the bigger picture really is here. You know, the designer of the body harp really put it perfectly. The goal isn't to make someone choose between being a dancer or being a musician, it's to mutualize them, to find that amazing creative space where dancing and playing an instrument become one single expressive act. So what's the big takeaway from all this? Well, this whole movement is about so much more than just a few new gadgets. Bringing the body back into the performance literally opens the door for entirely new art forms we haven't even imagined yet. It turns technology from a potential barrier into a true bridge for human expression. And maybe the most profound thing is it forces all of us to totally rethink what an instrument is and what a musical performance can even be. And that really just leaves us with this one last huge thought-provoking question. Once we get rid of the keyboard and the mouse and the screen, what happens then? What incredible new forms of art and music and dance become possible when the human body itself is the final, ultimate interface?